grab a couple of shots. Got the slider sitting back down on the floor here. Throw in the air control unit, lockers back in there. I knew stuff like this would happen. I'm not sure where it was all meant to sit when I hung it, and then you miss a bit, but that's right, I'll touch all that up. That's what happens. Yes, I have got the springs. I'll show you those in a minute. And just chuck a bit of grease on top there for the plate to sit on. So I know it's got a bit there, and obviously I'll pump a bit in, it's all assembled. Got the plate there, I'm just going to pick it up and try and sit it on there. Here's the springs. You've got to love trampolines. I think that's what I got them off one day. I'm one of those people, I drop a load of scrap off and I come home with more than what I took in there sometimes. I just see good things and it's like, I'll use that one day. Bit of a bad habit, but anyway, it's paid off. Tabs aren't, they're offset on the ends here. Oh look, oh, we're able to figure it out. Geez, I'm lined up. Woo. Should have been a mechanic. That goes that way. That stops it rotating. Go that way. Too close to the bolts. Goes that way. And we'll put some grease on those wherever I put it. Up there. Try and lubricate everything to put it together. Stop it rattling. My goal was to try and get these reassembled. Then I've got to come up with a plan to stack the stuff away. I have got a spare shipping container here at the moment, not in use. It will be soon. I'm going to put my hay in it, but just at the moment I've emptied it. I could possibly go and put it in that. I think that is a tight fit through that bush. It's in the rubber. Got it wrong. They are tight. Right, try and grab a bit of content. Weather's packed up outside. It's raining, so that I'll come in the shop for the last hour of the day. So in my last upload, I said I've done a bit more work on the tanks, so I didn't show you because they were covered up. So did a bit more glazing on there and re-rubbed them all, and obviously Scotch brighted the rest of the tank. Reshaped the ends here where I filled them all, try and get some shape into what it should look like. Hopefully I'll soon know. So my plan is, obviously I got this tank, I've rehung this and got the other tank over there hanging. I'm going to re-prime them. So I'm just going to put another layer of etch primer over them and try and build a little bit, because that'll suck the primer up, I think. But they need it. I put it on quite thin, the first one, and I've re-rubbed and obviously got aluminium exposed, so we'll re-prime. So I'll just show you a bit of that. And the other thing I've been doing for the last hour or so, started masking on here. Yeah, don't comment on my masking, it'll work. The rubber seal, the window seals ain't going to go in there anyway, and yeah, it's back masked. So I've got to start on the doors. I'll show you when I do that. I'll mask all the inside of the door here, and then I'll leave the door cracked when I paint, so I can get the edge and all that on there. I've been looking on Facebook and obviously a lot of watching guys paint. A lot of them, they don't paint inside here. They leave this all polished aluminium, but this truck's been sprayed in here before previously, and yeah, it's going to be a real mission to try and get all that back to polished status. I've tried different wheels in there and it's just like, what a nightmare. So I'm going to mask to the edge just here. So I'm going to paint inside that channel, and then I'll leave the outside edge of the door closure, this piece through here, that'll be all just polished aluminium through there. So that's my thoughts on that. I mean, everybody's got different ways of doing it. I see some of them are painted and they look cool, but I'll try it. If it fails, well, you can always end up painting it. And I sanded off the screws heads on here so they're filled. I'll start and mask all this stuff up. I've been under the cab, I've masked under the step here so I don't spray through onto the black underneath. I need to show you that as well. I'll grab a light in a minute. I painted all under the cab. It's all been done satin black under there. I never showed this last week on my upload. I sort of forgot the video. So I've been under the cab here. I'll try and chuck the light under here so we can see a bit. Not gonna work too good for me. Yeah, I've been right up underneath. I sanded what I could with the air sander and etch primed it all, and then I chucked the satin black on there. I was talk about using a underbody sealer in here, which would obviously help with noise and that, but I'm not worried about any of that stuff. It's not like it's going to do 600 miles a day. Be lucky if I do 10 miles a year with it. It's just more to seal it up, stop the corrosion factor, not that we have it as I've said previously, but tidy the cab up. And up under the dog house or the sleeper here, that'll get relined when I find the correct lining I want to put on there. So yeah, I started masking, just throwing that on there. I have it edge masked it all, and then I just threw some paper over it just to stop the overspray coming back into here, because the yellow and the white obviously won't go too good with the black. I've got the lockdowns, cab mounts, whatever you want to call them, got those all taped up a bit in there so I don't overspray onto the black. So my aim is, if time allows, to try and throw a bit of etch primer on this cab pretty soon, so I can go through and find all my faults with it, because it certainly works. Like the tanks, I learnt when I sprayed those, it just showed up every fault and everywhere I'd failed to fill and do body work correctly. So it's the only way you can find out what's going on. Well, for me it is. As I said previously, I'm not a bodywork person. never done it for a living, or really this is the first major thing I've tackled of trying to get this standard. I mean, I've done some of our vintage equipment, but yeah, really I should have done it different, but you live and learn as you go. But yep, so I'll put the camera down and I'm going to give that a squirt, and I'll bring you back when I've done it and we'll see how it goes on. It's quite warmish here today, but yeah, it's raining outside, so the moisture with the compressor might be an issue, but I don't run it too much. It hasn't been running today, so it should be pretty dry. I do drain the air tank on it. I'll try and hold the camera and do a run, show you what it goes on like. Unfortunately, the tank's rotating. Not the ideal situation. And the end result, sorry, I know there's a big shadow in here, got the work light going, but unless you turn the tank. Well, I'll just show you somewhere what happened. Let's see if I can pick it up with the light. There, you can see it on camera. There's one there, got another one there. Yeah, I tipped the paint into my mixing cup that I've got, but you come off the side of the tin, and I never put the paint through a strainer before I put it in the gun. My fault. That's right, that'll just sand off. It's only each primer. The lesson learnt, don't have old paint on the side of the tin. So, still going off. Yeah, got a few just there as well, I can see. I gave that a couple of coats on this edge, which is visible to us. So it's sort of, I know each primer is not a builder, but it does give it a little bit of body, and it's covering up that glazing because it's going to soak it up. Have a look at the other one. Yeah, this one come up not too bad as well. I got just a couple as well, just under the light there. I saw them go on, I was like, oh well, keep going. You don't touch them, you just let it dry off and give it a rub. So my next mission, depending upon how that dries, I'm going to go home now, just leave it. Alright, paint fumes are settled. I threw some white on, I'll show you what I've done in a minute. Unfortunately, I've spilt paint over the label. I think it's a commercial white or something like that. It's a standard white that people use here in the industry, fleet wise. Something I did do and I didn't show you, it's 2K paint obviously, so I got the correct thinners for it. I was using they call it a two-way, and he said no, I don't use that for top coat. So as I say, I'm advised by what they tell me, and I appreciate it. It's helping me along. Happy with the gun, it's gone really good. Always strip them and clean them. So I'll show you what I've done. We've got the tank sprayed. It's flashing off pretty good. Yeah, I could moan, I can see stuff on it, but yeah, it's a truck, man. It's people are going to lean on there with belt buckles on and all sorts of things. I can see I've got a watermark. I don't really want to start pointing out all my faults, but yeah, another one there. I'll live with it. Bit of fluff just blew in the shed, awesome. It's rained here this morning, so it's quite damp outside, so I thought I'll try and, it's not good for the air, but it's good for dust. Settle the ground down out there, stops it swirling around. I don't have a paint booth, it's just backyard painter. So yeah, that's one tank. I mean, they're going to look different when you put the bands on there too. It's going to break the colour. And here's the second tank. I'm happy with that. First time caller, pretty good. So yeah, my last clip, which was yesterday for me, I re-primed them, edge primer, and I rubbed them down this morning with some 500 paper and then wax and grease remover, wipe them down with that and let them sit for a while, let them dry if there's any residue on there, and then blew them off careful with the spray gun, just with the air, make sure there's no dust, and started painting. So for the rest of the day I will not be doing too much in here to upset the dust in the workshop here. It's pretty bad on the floor. I could wet it down, but the one area you don't wet will be the area that gets a bit of wind or something happens, airline blows. So I think for the rest of the day I will carry on masking the cab here, try and get the windows, get some handles masked up. I am debating about, be careful here, touch my tank, I'll be in trouble. Debating about what I do here. I was going to take the doors off on the box here, sleeper, and repaint those. It would make it look pretty nice. I'd have to obviously mask all those up, but I realise the wire's just going to rub on there again. The bottom bit's all been scratched with stuff in there, and I'm only going to put stuff in there too. It's going to do the same. It's all going to end up against the door. I think I might just leave it. Take them off and never get them back on again. I'll break a screw off, and yeah, I can visualise it being a disaster. So I'll carry on masking my gold if time allows. The next couple of days my tanks will dry, so I can cover them, make some dust in here, and blow all this cab off and get some edge primer on it and start again, see all the imperfections, and start glazing and sanding. Take a fair while to do this. Thought I'd show you something funny. When I painted my tanks yesterday, I covered most things in the shop here, but I left my dash that I'd sanded previously, and I think I've shown that. Yeah, I never covered it. It was within firing distance of the tanks, so it's like sandpaper on there now, covered in overspray. Nothing like a bit of rework, eh? You just, yeah, you gotta laugh. I'll re-rub all that. It has begun. I had a couple of hours to spare here at the end of the day. It's pretty warm here at the moment, so yep, started wiping it all down. That's as far as I've got today. It's not really the ideal thing to do, but I'll just rub it in down here on the joints where I run out. That'll be right. Obviously the door's a separate issue, so that's all good. And I'll flick the light on if I can. Ooh. So yep, got all the back of the cab done. Come up all right. Obviously I didn't film me doing it. I don't think you need to see me painting. I'm yeah, pretty confident in what I'm doing. It's you just slow down and it happens for you. Got the roof done. You can see obviously I've got overspray sitting up here, goes all fluffy. You can see it in the air, you can see it on there now. But it's all good. That's all, that'll get wiped down. And so you can see where I've done a patch there. It's soaked the primer up as well. I'll re-scotchy all that, go through with my glazing. Now that it shows up, you see all the fibres here, the overspray settled on the cab. Don't know a lot about it, but yeah, I can see the roof's covered in it. Well, that's why I did the roof first, work my way down. Yeah, it blows off. So I'll go through, as I say, do my glazing. Depending upon how much I do of that, whether I respray the cab or not, I may just spot spray where my glazing is, because it's quite a bit of paint. I can see where I'm a little bit thin. It's the odd little place here. Certainly going to need a good rub down. It's a start. Yeah, I didn't get around this side. I just did down the roof cap line to the gutter line. So it's a bit of an achievement. Taken a long time to get to this. Obviously got the cab all masked up. You wouldn't want to judge me on my masking. Well, time will tell. Got to pull it off, and yeah, got a red and white interior. Obviously we've gone a bit wrong, but overall it's moving along pretty good. Feel sorry for you people in the northern hemisphere. I know your winter's hitting you. It's cold, it's miserable, but yeah, we're warming up here. Still got a lot of rain though. We've had a lot of rain the last couple of weeks, which is good. Growing a lot of grass. So that's a bit of a roundup. We'll see what tomorrow brings, whether I get to work on it or not. If I do, obviously I'll attack the rest of this cab. So that's 4 litres gone. So that's air radiator and fuel tanks, bands and all the other visor, any aluminium thing on each prime. So I don't know what you would normally use, but I got another 4 sitting here, do the rest of this cab. Okay, my little helper's gone home. End of day. Just do a little roundup for you. Yep, as you saw, he was painting. He actually did a really good job. He's got a better hand than me. Really steady. So we've Scotch-Brighted it. It's all been rubbed down. Pretty smooth. So I go through and do my putty glazing now. I can see a few imperfections. That's the idea of priming it. She's a pretty rough truck, this. It's not a real straight and tidy cab. It's had a pretty hard life. That's right, we'll make it look something. So, right around. Certainly a big improvement to get some primer on it. You can see down there, we have 1 run. Well, 2, but one main one there. Wasn't his fault, it was me. I played with the fan on the gun and went the wrong way. So, pretty good. We have 1 little imperfection show up down there, so rub that out. So overall, pretty dandy. So I'll just show you the roof. There is a big light just there, shining straight on top, so there's quite a bit of reflection here. Like where the roof lights sit, the camera's showing it up. You can see there's, yeah, not right, but it doesn't matter. I mean, roof lights go on there, it's not going to be seen. So I think the camera will show this up, or we can hear it. So I've been, I give that a rub with a bit of 500. I just let it clog up a bit. Only very lightly rub it, just to take the hairs off, and then a bit of Scotch-Brite. So you can probably hear this. I'll shut up, stop talking. Gets really rough, real gritty, real smooth. So that'll give the top coat something to build off. So I'll go through and do my glazing, then obviously I have to repaint. But yeah, I don't think I'll need to repaint the whole cab. Won't etch prime it again or anything. Did a bit better this time than the tanks. I've learned a lot. I got a few little thin bits here and there. I can see it, but there's nothing. There's existing paint underneath. It's not down to aluminium or anything like that. So yeah, I still got obviously where I just rubbed my hand, that to do, and all the back half to do up there on the roof yet. But the rest of the cab's all been rubbed down. So we'll start and do a bit of marking out for colours. Right, about an hour to spare today, so I jumped up here, started putting my glazing putty on. I'm only just touching up around the rivets where I gouged it. Learned a lot. Yeah, don't do that when you're trying to clean up around rivets. It's pretty hot here today. It's very hot just up here, it's close to the roof. So the roof's been sanded with the all our papers and materials. So I'll attack it maybe tomorrow, do a bit more on it. So with that, we'll end the video. I hope you enjoyed seeing what I've done. The weather's come right, so yeah, I'm going to keep attacking the paint, do what I can until other things stop me from working on it. So overall, pretty happy with what's happened. I'm learning a lot, and I'll keep learning. So by the time I get to the cab, which is pretty close, I should have a fair idea what the outcome's going to be. So again, thanks for watching, and yeah, hit that like button and subscribe button. That helps. Thank you.